Hey guys, you're watching Let's Talk About Prepping. I'm Tyler, your host, and in this video we're going to take a scenic walk by the beach and talk about some morbid subject matter. The thing I've been thinking about lately is what I've sort of been thinking of as the second great die-off after a long-term SHTF or grid down situation. Now, this isn't a fear-mongering video, but we do often talk in the prepping community about the inevitability of SHTF, how it won't even take any special circumstances during a collapse to kill a lot of people, because we already rely on the juggling act of modern agriculture and transportation to keep 7 billion plus people alive. So if there is ever a hiccup in the supply agriculture system, we simply won't be able to provide for all nearly 8 billion of us. And that alone will cause a great die-off as hundreds of thousands, millions, or even billions of people starve. In the last 50, 60 years alone, we have dramatically decreased the number of people that starve on a yearly basis. But we can expect that and other causes of death to come back full force if we ever fail to provide all the things all the time. And that's not even getting into all of the medically reliant and so forth individuals who will start to experience problems even after food is provided for them. So the first great die-off will actually be a years-long period with different phases where different causes like malnutrition and violence take out more and more people. But in the prepping community, we often talk about how there will eventually be a calm period, or I think that that's at least assumed by many. But I think that there will be a second marked die-off or lack in population as things go on, and that it will be linked to the fact that many of us, perhaps myself included, I'm including myself here at least, might not be alive if it wasn't for the modern medical system. And that's going all the way back to if you were delivered by C-section, if your mother delivered other siblings before you by C-section, and so on. Many people would not be alive if it wasn't for the modern medical system. And I don't say this to make anybody feel badly about themselves if that describes them. But aside from the medically reliant, there will be the offspring of even the perfectly healthy who will experience all of the same childhood illnesses that perhaps their siblings or parents did, but without the benefit of the modern medical system, which kept those individuals alive. And completely aside from accepting that there will be childbirth problems and childhood illnesses, I think that many of us don't necessarily appreciate the magnitude of the fact that many of us would not have survived in a survival of the fittest situation in the first place. So it won't just be severe cases of chickenpox or food poisoning that kill children in an SHTF, but also inner ear problems because they developed wrong, or just simple genetic deficiencies that run in the family and which have been able to run in the family because of the modern medical system. And I want to be very clear that I think that it is wonderful that we can all be alive no matter what is wrong with our bodies when we're born. I by no means have a perfect body, and I care just as much for those who are born infirm as those who are not. But this video is meant to address those individuals to the community at large and get people thinking about how to prepare for the birth of children who have genetic deficiencies. There's not a lot that I can say to that, but I do think that we will see a trend in the population as a long-term situation continues on, as we see just how many of us were being kept alive by the system. I think that that would be a really ugly thing, and I think that everything that we can do to provide as much medical infrastructure in any situation would obviously be a wonderful thing. So just some thoughts that I was having. I usually like to have a lot more follow-up and positive what can we do to fix the situation than I can really provide here. But I think that it would be really beneficial for all to do their family history, to know what genetic illness and traits run in your family and what people have done in the past to compensate for that, and maybe even study what medical information there is on those things. Used to be that people had diaries or traditional knowledge from other people in their family who had dealt with something like that, but nowadays we tend to just let the medical community deal with it whenever we confront it. But I know that there are a few things in my family line that I would want to be aware of, either for myself or for future descendants of the family line. So it's definitely something to research and know about for yourself. Anyways, just some sort of dark thoughts. Hope that was interesting for some of you guys, and I hope you're all doing well out there. Everybody stay safe.